Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharanya Nirvisheshunyavadi Bhaishchandishta. So I just want to speak on this topic, 𝗪 𝗪𝗂 Sadhaka. And this term is given to us by none other than Sripad Madhvacharya, who is also known as Anand Tirth, Hanuman Tirth, 𝗪𝗪, who is actually Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya, who is Acharya of our Sampradaya. And this term is very important. Madhvacharya defines devotion as 𝗪 𝗪𝗪 Sadhaka. He has defined devotion in many other ways, and there are many ways to define devotion, but this is one of the apt definition, because what he says is devotion is all about fulfilling the works of God, fulfilling the mission of God and His devotees. That's what he says, that's devotion all about. Devotion is not about your own so not just about your own practices. Just like, for example, Srila Prabhupada used to say, do something for Krishna. Now devotees in Vrindavan and so back then and even now, they say, well, devotion is all about Radhe Radhe Bol and chanting and dancing. Prabhupada always insisted on this point, do something for Krishna. Now why? Because he was not speculating. It's from Madhvacharya. He says that devotion is all about doing something for Krishna. That's the whole point. We practice our own devotional services. We chant, we dance. It's not that we don't chant and we don't dance and we don't read books. But our chanting, our dancing, our reading books is to get energy and then fulfill the mission of God. That's the whole idea. If we get the energy, if we chant and dance and we get energy, we become happy and blissful. But if we don't serve the mission of Lord, then it's all illusion. And the best example for this is from Ramayana. Now 𝗪𝗲, he actually became a friend of Lord Ram. He was in Sakhiras, and of course a devotee and a friend. And he promised Ram to help him, assist him to get the information of Sita. Ram had lost Sita. But suddenly in between, so there was a period of rains for 4 months of Chaturmasya, what we have, rains and all this. So 𝗪𝗲 was back in his palace and enjoying, and he forgot everything. But then Ram sent Lakshman to remind 𝗪𝗲, well, you promised me and you have a mission. Like Chaturmasya was over, rains was over, and still he was nowhere, and there was no information. Lakshman went and he became angry and he said, 𝗪𝗲, well, you're a friend of Ram and you're a servant of Ram, but you have forgotten to actually help him and serve his mission to get the information of Sita and help him to get back Sita. So that's the whole point there. We might have a relationship with God, like 𝗪𝗲. Like him, I mean to say, we are not even near him, but we might have a relationship with God, we might be chanting, we might be reading, but if we don't fulfill the mission of Lord, then everything is waste. So it's almost like you are practicing to shoot and fight and everything, but when the war is there, then you don't go in the war. Then what's the point? It's all waste. And that's not Madhvacharya, only Madhvacharya. That's not only he's saying this, or Srila Prabhupada is saying this. Bhaktivedanta Swami Thakur, he was very, very critical of this point, and he was pressing this point. Even in his Gaudiya Math, people were not even chanting 16 rounds. They were chanting, brahmacharis, full-time devotees were chanting sometimes 4, sometimes 5. They were open to chant any number of rounds. But the most important point Bhaktivedanta emphasized is that do preaching work and actually propagate this mission of Lord Chaitanya and Krishna. That was his point. Hardly people, upper sampradaya people, they hardly understood all these things. They said, well, devotion is all about chanting and being blissful, but that's not the point. One of the saint in Christian Christianity, many saints in Christianity, like Saint Teresa of Avila and other mystic saints, and also saints in Sufism and other traditions, and also saints in Orthodox Islamic religion, many of them have the same opinion that devotion is all about God's business. We have to think about His business and not just our business. That's one point. So devotion, so we want to become pure devotees, we want to be blissful, we want to chant, we want to get energy, but everything is directed to help and assist Lord and His Lord and His devotees, the mission of Lord and His devotees. That is pure devotional service. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.